The blending, after we do, first we do visual, we present the cards, they give us the sound. Then we do auditory. So once we've done visual, once we've done auditory, then we practice the blending words. Now the blending, usually what I do is I take the flashcard, or the alphabet deck that they have, the sound deck, and I flip them over, and then we just flip a card at a time, and they say the word, and they're usually nonsense words, so sometimes they're not. There's other ways to do it. This is one of the websites that we give you at the end of the presentation has, you can make this, it's a printable, and you can just flip the letters in this as well. We've also provided you with sliders. We had word sliders. These are the ones that, we did have the purple ones that were given in the RTI kit quite a few years ago. But you can make them yourself. These are just envelopes which you have to seal in order for this to work properly. And you just p. And these are nice because they have a nice visual at the end. So they know that they got it right and they go, yes. So that's, this is another effective way. But these ones are words. The nonsense words are good too. Not yet, but sorry. The best part about flipping them is they're the sounds that they know for sure. They're not a pre-made thing, which is, it's good for ease, especially at school, so that we have the resources there and ready.
Off, waff, off, soft, off, rod.
Say this one again.
Off, rod.
Good, ah.
The rag. Axe, racks. Axe, zacks. Axe, vax.
What's this one?
Vac.
Excellent.
Axe, jack.
That's where the X is.
Axe, vax.
What? We need this to be at the end.
Thick.
Is that a word?
Yes. No.
Is thick a word?
Yes.
Is that how we spell it?
No.
No, it isn't. Let's do that one again.
Thick.
Good job. How come that's spelled wrong? What's wrong about it?
It's not a T. It's not a C. It's a K.
C-K, exactly. There's a K at the end. And we'll learn why.
Chick. That's a word.
It is.
Thick. Fix.
Good.
Fits.
But it's best if it's their own deck and we just flip them over. What you have to make sure of is at the beginning, besides that, you know which letters are where and what's going to flip next, make sure you know which sounds are coming, right? These nonsense words can get pretty interesting. You have to make sure that some letters are not at the beginning and some letters are not at the end. For example, at the beginning, we don't usually put an X. Y is always at the beginning. And for reasons because we'll learn after, because Y makes different sounds at the end of a word, right? It's no longer a consonant. If it's at the beginning of a syllable, then it acts as a consonant. The other letters you have to make sure that are not at the end, important, H is a difficult one, that it's best to be at the beginning. R is an important one because that's bossy and it controls what the vowel says and it changes it, and we don't want to confuse the kids. I'm trying to think if there's any. I tried to put C and G until they learn that C says and G says J. I try to keep them at the end too, and no W at the end, because W behaves like Y as well. Another thing about that is that once they're getting really good at it, sometimes they'll be able to they'll get to a point where the nonsense word, they'll look at it and they'll just say it. And that's been mastered. Now they can complete, the CVC words, consonant, vowel, consonant words. They can look at them and they can say them. That's ideal. That's what we want. Once they get to that point, then we work on fluency. So what we usually do is we have timed readings. And we have, I think is it Lakeshore that has the timed readings in a box? Yeah, we got a whole bunch of those. And they have, as long as they have a word count. Now, one of the websites that we give you is Florida Center for Reading Research. I'm guessing everybody's familiar with that. It's a wealth of information. They have all kinds of timed readings on there. Another thing you can do is just take a passage, maybe that the child's interested in, do a word count at the end of each sentence, right? What I do is I give them a minute and see what they can read in a minute. And if they can read the whole passage in a minute, then we try a longer or more difficult passage. And we time them. And once they are timed, we write down their word count for that time. So we end up, there's a fluency graph, the yellow one of the yellow ones. Yeah. This right here. I'll write down the name of the passage at the bottom and the word count that they got, and then they fill it in. And this provides a nice visual because they do get better very quickly reading the same passage over and over again until they finish it within a minute. It's important to make sure that you pick a passage that they will be able to eventually finish in a minute, because otherwise they're going to feel like they're failing. Reading A to Z, if any of you have access to that website, it does require a membership. I highly recommend it's one of my very favorite resources. You have access to like thousands of books. Some of the assessments that we're providing for you, portions of them come from that site. They have books to address decoding, books to address vocabulary. They have all kinds of different books and resources. Yeah, and the fluency, they also provide it at the level. Now they have levels from A to Z, but if you click on it, it tells you the DRA, the Fontes and Pinnell, every single reading program there is. It tells you, even PM readers, I think, it tells you which level it's equivalent to. Fantastic resource.